It's hard for me to say I'm sorry, I just can't let you go. We've been memes and midnight dreams and common thread, a rodeo. From shaky cams to live stream jams, we laughed until we cried. So how'd we go from LOL forever to fine? I'll say goodbye. We built a vibe in pixels, yeah, a patchwork kinda home, where typos turned to punchlines and no one laughed alone. You say it's time to log off, pack it up, move on. But wait, your seat's still warm, your theme song's still on. Don't go, slow your roll, hear the rhythm in your chest. No shade thrown, no stones, known, this place still knows you best. Don't go, hit pause, not exit, stay a minute more. Drop anchor in the chaos, we've got laughter to restore. No need to take offense where none was ever given. Stay the course, we're all just trying to make a little living. Don't go, ghost, don't vanish in the scroll. We're better when you're in it, yeah, you're part of this whole. After all the bits and glitches, the filters and the flops, you taught us how to dance through every algorithm drop. Now you're drafting up a farewell like it's carved in stone. But darling, this ain't Shakespeare, no need for a monologue tone. Social media's a circus with a megaphone and fog. 244 character, that's barely a thought log. Context gets compressed till it's thinner than a thread. Then boom, misread, misfed, and suddenly we dread. No need to take umbrage, no need for a disguise. We can trade the hot takes for a little compromise. Don't go, hit pause, not exit, stay a minute more. Send a note, a real one, we can open up the door. No need for safe spaces when we're safe in how we listen. We can turn the volume down and still keep the music listen. Don't go, don't fold, don't pack up your control. We're better when you're in it, yeah, you're part of this whole. No dramatic exit music, no confetti for the leave. No need to post a curtain call like this is me, I grieve. Just pull up a chair, grab a snack, stay weird, stay bright. We'll debug the drama, keep the good and code it right. We've got room for messy, for the oops and my bad, for the spicy little takes that don't have to end mad. You're not just a username drifting out in the blue. You're the laugh in the lag and we're not done with you. Don't go, hit pause, not exit. Hear the crowd in your name. We're a patchwork of the imperfect, that's the heart of the game. No need to take offense where none was ever given. We're all just learning out loud, figuring out this living. Don't stay close, let the moment take its toll. We're better when you're in it, yeah, you're part of this whole. So don't go just yet, let the thread breathe, no regrets. Stay a while, enjoy the show. We're still better with you here, you know.
Good Abend, Servus, Grüß Gott. Welcome back, folks. Bonsoir. Ça va? Ladies and gentlemen, good evening to you. Welcome back to the program. It is Sunday evening, the 12th of April, 2026. What an epic day. What an epic day. An incredible interview this morning with Anne Fillon from Keokuk, Iowa. That was pretty exciting. I hope you guys enjoyed that, those who caught it. From Keokuk, Iowa. And then after that, the news, and then a short break, driving people over to Ronaldo's program. Hope you enjoyed that. Then back to my program for the Cafe Clutch. We talked in the Cafe Clutch quite a bit. And then what came up in between was this story about a website that's purportedly trying to get people to pay for it and use Professor G and Professor and myself I made a video in response to that because people were inundating me about it. What is this? I didn't know. I said, I don't know what this is. I'm unfamiliar with it, but I didn't authorize use of my name. I don't know what it is. All right, so I posted the video, and that caused a little bit of consternation. The young lady, or the lady who is posted it, is a viewer and a big supporter of my channel and Professor G, and it seems to be a misunderstanding. But the problem comes from the launch, okay? I wasn't aware of it. I did go back after I realized who the lady was and look through my WhatsApp and search because I didn't have the name saved. And she started sending me a message last year, and in June of last year, she said, I'm working on a website. I'll keep you updated. And I said, okay. And then in October 27th, after I went through a bunch of other, she sent me news stories, I found where she said that such and such, you should be a director. I didn't realize, because it'd been, June, July, August, September, October, like 5 months later, she gets back with me and she says, that she showed me a website. And I said, I'm not familiar with that website. She said something about me becoming a director or something like that. And I've stayed disengaged with refugee organizations just, to stay independent of that so I'm not tied to them. Anyway, long story short, so she did communicate with him, but it was October 27th. That's 6 months ago. And then suddenly people are like, Shelley Hepburn did a video. What's this? People are trying to cheat people. And I'm like, I don't know what this is. I'm not affiliated with it. I didn't get permission. There was a miscommunication, not by me, but by that person and someone else. And look, I have to be very careful about this stuff. So I post that video. She didn't get angry, but she's like, wait a second, I'm one of your biggest supporters. I'm not trying to do any money here. It's not about money. So I took the video down, made it private, and then I made another video saying, look, I'm just saying that I don't know. The launch of this was kind of awkward. So I will talk to the lady, and we'll sort this out, and we'll figure out what's going on going forward, okay? All right, hopefully that helps the small number of people here at the audience right now. Yeah, Pikachu's back in the studio again tonight. He was there last night. He was on a couple of my videos, my serious videos. Anyway, so Rudolph got home. Your car is still in the engine shot. That sucks. So I hope it's in a safe place. There's Nicole Wepner. Greetings, friends. Hope all is well. Okay, now we're going to shift to tonight. So after I did the Refugee Cafe Clutch, I drove up towards Allentown, and I met up with Nicole. And I was surprised to meet an elderly couple with her. And apologies, but Siggy, you are an elderly man. So her in-laws, he's 86, and I didn't ask his wife's age. That would be impolite. What a fascinating evening. Spent over 3.5 hours, nearly 4 hours with them, and we had a lovely time. They bought me dinner. I very appreciate that. A very non-South African meal. I had fish and chips, as did Siggy, the 86-year-old. He kindly brought with him some of his collection of books about the Great Trek. And so in Afrikaans and English, he gave them to me. I'm very grateful for that. They will be treated with the respect they deserve and be part of my collection here. So here's Voortrekkeliers and Tot Trekroutes. Okay, I never pronounced that before, so there you go. That's a book by Jan Visagie. Okay, and it's in Afrikaans, of course. Lots of photographs and maps of things. So very nice. And it talks about some of the different, here's Erasmus Smith. Okay, Lucas Johannes Meyer, Karel Peter Landmann, Jan du Plessis, and Jacobus Christopher Potgieter, Jacob de Klerk. These are, I guess, all of the folks who were big names in the movement. So many of them I'm not familiar with. Pete Retief. I know Pete Retief. Yeah. Anyway, so, yeah. Mundlik het sie emigratie sus die met baie anderlees die geval was, ja, as aan familietrek began en die daar langs die trekpad nog mensen bij warm angesluit. All right, so that's that one. That was very kind of Siggy to give to me. So then he gave me this one, die Ossewa en sy spore. And their tracks. There you go. Okay. All right, so this one's incredible. Fantastic stuff. It's in, of course, in Afrikaans. Dan praten mensen nog niet eens van die, what is that word? De osse klipkraal. That's a word I don't know. Interesting. Okay. Inspan van osse. De oorsprong van die ossebedrijf. Sothebyste handel met die kooi en zwartvolken. Okay. Anyway, yeah, so really cool. So nice stuff. Anyway, that one there, that's lovely of him. Add that to my collection. He's collected these over decades, 86-year-old man. Forgotten Tracks and Trails of the Escarpment and the Lowveld. This is by Gert Grahoff. Okay. This one's in English, I think. Nope. Yes. Okay. The Dutch Annexation. There you go. So it's pretty cool. Really nicely done books. These are in good condition too. Wagon Makers, Wainwrights. Okay. Expansion. Let's see what this says. Crossing the Vaal River, Four Trekker Roads, the first visit to Delgoa Bay. Okay, the road to Casper's Neck. The naming of the Blight and True Rivers. J.A. Snelkamp. Cultural Vandalism. Just a really incredible book this one is. So there you go. All right. Now, hang on. I got some good history for you guys. You're going to love this. Check this out. Okay, well, let me finish the book. So, Monuments and Trails of the Floor Trekkers. This one's really good. Hard to see there back with the color, but there you go, a little better. So it says, of course, Southern Rhodesia, Southwest Africa, Basutoland, and Bechuana Protectorate. That's a long time ago. Okay. Originally, this one came from the Johannesburg Public Library. It says, books are costly and often irreplaceable. Please help us preserve our books by looking after them carefully while they're on loan to you. Okay, I hope Siggy didn't steal this one. Withdrawn from, oh, it was withdrawn from, okay, they removed it from the services. So, nope. This edition is limited to 1,500 copies. This is number 583. Wow. Wow. Pretty wild. Okay, the author wishes to thank many people who have so readily assisted the loan of books, documents, photographs, papers, and valuable information covering the period from 1836 to 1848 in Four Trekker history in South Africa. Wow. So check it out. It starts out with this, the Four Trekker monument there. Okay. Yeah, here's all the treks. Trichat, Retief, Ice, Potgieter, Maritz, and Van Rensburg. Yep, all the places they went. Wow. Okay. The Drama in Natal. Wow. Anyway, that's an incredible book in itself. Okay, so I'm going to tell you some pretty incredible stories here. Interesting stuff. I'm going to share this. Okay, before I do that, though, I just want to say, so when I left today, I was kind of coy. I didn't say who I was meeting with because I didn't have permission. That's how I handle things. I don't give out people's phone numbers or their addresses without their permission. Anybody's. I don't disclose things unless it's a mistake, but I don't generally disclose things unless I have someone's permission. So in this case, I met with Nicole Wepner this evening. She is, of course, with Marble Life, South African. What I didn't realize when Nicole, it was kind of confusing to me when she first approached me and said, hey, listen, I'm with Marble Life. We're South Africans in America, and we've got positions for South Africans that get on-the-job training, competitive wages, and benefits, and we'd like to hire some of the refugees. And I didn't quite catch on. Nicole's actually a refugee. She and her husband and her 2 adult children are refugees. They're living in Florida, and they have 4 cases, son and daughter, and then the parents. 3 cases, the husband, wife, and then live long and prosper, Spock. Yeah, anyway, no, I didn't mean to do that. So there's 3 cases, actually, not 4. Anyway, they all wound up linked, and they all wound up in Florida together, and they wound up near the cousin who lives down there, who is the founder of Marble Life. Marble Life has 38 locations in America, and they have positions, they're hiring for people all over the country. And so I want to share that with you guys very quickly. So here's, when I first showed you this life, I made a video, we had about 18,000. There was a tremendous response. They've about 85 responses, and I think they've hired 22 people already around the country. I might be off a little bit on that, so I'll stand in correction if I am. But yeah, Marble Life, this is it right here. And it's just marblelife.com. They are looking to hire South Africans who are motivated to work. And I will show you where they're located. You see there's some of the stuff they do. Granite, tile and grout, concrete, stone, terrazzo, vinyl, countertop, slate, okay? And here you go. Here, they're all over the country. So look at that. They're in Philadelphia, of course. We talked about that. Looks like they're in Pittsburgh or Western Pennsylvania. I'm not sure then. It looks Cleveland, Columbus as well as maybe Cincinnati, and the down in Florida location. So all over the United States, you'll find Marble Life. Of course, they have franchise in South Africa. And so you could potentially work in any of those locations. So if you're in any of those locations, looks like Sacramento, if I looked at that correctly as well, maybe Los Angeles, I'm not sure the other one there. and then Salt Lake City, Denver, looks like, yeah, and Omaha. So these are all places, Seattle, where they have franchises. And if you're looking for work, guys, you might consider them. So Marble Life, you can contact them directly, or you can reach out to me, and I'll push your name along so they make sure they know you're a South African refugee that's interested in working for them. They don't just hire South African refugees. We don't want that to be the impression, but they definitely are interested in helping South Africans get a leg up. And so one of the gentlemen up in Connecticut who contacted me had a very bad experience up there. He is applying for work with them, and I suspect that it went well today for him. I can't verify that. I suspect it did. But yeah, so he may be working for them soon, and that would make, I think, 23 that they've hired or something like that. So don't hold me to those numbers. But anyway, I just want to, I don't know that they need a CDL. I doubt that they do, because you don't need a semi-truck. A CDL is for a semi-truck. You don't need that. So it couldn't possibly be the case, Mad Max. How could they have hired refugees who can't get a CDL if they've hired almost 24 already? Anyway, so Nicole is in the chat earlier. I don't know if she's still here, but that is something you might want to check into. I made a video on that some time ago. Let me find that link and bring that up for you very quickly here. So that was Marble Life. Okay, Marble Life wants South African refugees recruiting. That was February 3rd I did that, and they've had a very strong response. It's a very short video. I'll play it very quickly here for you guys. So I didn't endorse the company then, because I'd never met them and I'd never seen what they do, but they're legitimate, I can tell you that. And now I've met Nicole in person, and she's a lovely person, and her in-laws are rock stars. So sorry, Nicole, they're the rock stars, not you. You guys might be rock stars too, but they really are rock stars. So let me share this short video from Marble Life that I did back in February. 26 people gave me a dislike on this. Can you believe that? Hello, folks. Welcome back. This is Chris in Central Pennsylvania. Several weeks ago, I was contacted by South Africans who own a business here in the United States, apparently a rather large business, and they said they would soon be prepared to hire South African refugees in the U.S. So I have no tie to this organization. I do not endorse them. I have nothing bad or good to say about them. I'm just sharing information that's made available to me. The company is called Marble Life, and they're seeking South Africans who are refugees in the United States so they can employ them to give you a good opportunity to get started to a good life over here. As I said, looking to recruit South Africans who would be keen to work as technicians or sales reps in the field. Their specialty is restoration of marble, granite, Caesar stone, terrazzo, concrete, epoxy floors, and counters. I gotta be honest, I don't really know what Caesar stone is. I think I know what it is, but I'm not entirely sure what that is. But willing applicants will receive technical training on restorative processes and will be supervised in on-the-job training to improve their skill and productivity before they can even venture out on their own. So don't worry about it if you don't know anything about it. They're going to train you on how to do the job. Now, they'll provide a company vehicle and also expenses. And you must be willing to travel and work on team projects across the United States. So if you don't like travel, this might not be for you. But resumes can be sent to the email you see on the screen here, office-delawarevalley@marblelife.com. That email address is office-delawarevalley@marblelife.com. Attention, Nicole. Make sure you put attention, Nicole. Now, she'd like to have online interviews with prospective candidates, and at the moment, they're looking for candidates in Jacksonville, Florida, here in Pennsylvania, in New Jersey, and New York. I hope you find this useful information. Again, I do not endorse, I have nothing positive or negative to say about the organization. I just know that they contacted me some time ago, and they're now prepared to begin hiring people who are South African refugees. So if you fit the bill, if you're looking for a job, if you live in Jacksonville or somewhere around there, or here in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, New York, or you want to locate one of those places, maybe you should send them an email. All right, folks, thanks a lot. Take care. God bless. Alrighty, so that's what I did on February 3rd. Apparently the response is, she was thrilled to death with the response. They've got some fantastic candidates to apply for jobs there. Why did the chat go all dead? Nobody's saying anything. What happened there? We got 63 people here and nobody said anything for 4 minutes in chat. That's odd. Am I still live? I have to get my mobile out and make sure I'm still live. Nobody is chatting. That's how. Oh, okay, going to be their advertisement voice. Any more Afrikaans companies? Well, not just them. I've also told people about the care facility down in Florida and a few others. So yeah, anyone that has potential jobs available, they'd like me to give exposure. You're trying to hire people, and then you can just reach out to me. Put it in the subject line on the email and say, job opportunities for South African refugees. And then because a few people reach out to me, but there's so many people reach out to me, I get lost. Yep. Yeah, you're listening to me for, imagine, we're listening to the Colonel for once. No, I called Nicole out on that tonight. She said something. I said, no, you're not listening to me. You're hearing what you want to hear. Anyway, all right, cool. All right, Jules is telling your husband about the company. Okay, yeah, so they've got 38 locations around the country already, and I think they're expanding, not rapidly, but expanding. So yeah, all over the country. I mean, Salt Lake, any of the Utah refugees out there looking for work, I mean, here you go. It's something considered. Now, you got to be willing to get your hands dirty and work hard, but the rewards apparently are good. It's worth it. So anyway, you might want to check it out. Now, let's get on to the story. So I met Nicole's husband's uncle, Siggy. Siegfried. Now, you're going to love this story, okay? He said I could talk about him and his wife, but I only have good things to say. So all right, so he's 86 years old, born in 1940, and he's an Austrian, born in Mozambique. Let me tell you the story. His father was born in 1910, and by 1929, the Great Depression was devastating in Europe, as it was pretty much around the world. His older brother had already immigrated to South Africa, and his older brother, so Siggy's uncle, said, why don't you come to South Africa? There's opportunity here. So he moved in 1929 to South Africa, okay, and joined his older brother down there. Then his father was, I don't know, dating, if I understood correctly, an Austrian woman, and she moved to Dresden to work. She was working in Dresden. They stayed in touch via the post. No WhatsApp, no Telegram. They stayed in touch. Well, apparently, Siggy's father was successful in convincing this lady to come marry him in South Africa. So by now we're 10 years ahead. Okay, so now he's around 29 years old, his father, and it's 1939, and the clouds of war are approaching. She gets on a ship. It turns out the last time the ship ever made a voyage from Germany, she got on the ship in Germany. I don't know if it's Bremerhaven or Hamburg, probably. She got on the ship called the Windhoek, and it came to South Africa. The war started. The Windhoek never returned to Germany. It went to Argentina, where it was scuttled, its last voyage, so that the Allies wouldn't sink it or capture it. So she got out literally on the last ship out of Germany to immigrate to South Africa. They married, and the war got underway. Well, being a German speaker in South Africa around 1940, if you've just come there from, Europe, probably, and remember that Austria had been occupied by the Germans, the Anschluss in 1938, so it was part of Germany now. So the Austrians would have been viewed as Germans. And so their parents decided that, we need to get out of here. We don't want to wind up in a prison camp. So they went to Mozambique, figuring that Portugal would remain neutral in the war, which they did in the First World War. Portugal was neutral. So they moved to Lourenço Marques, which is now Maputo, and Siggy was born there. An Austrian born in Mozambique, and he grew up there for a bit. Of course, the language at home was German, so he speaks German, so we spoke in German. Of course, his German's excellent, and mine's not too bad. So we talk a bit in German. And then he wound up moving to South Africa later on, and he went to university and then got married, and he wound up getting an opportunity to go to MIT in Massachusetts for his master's degree, I believe in engineering, something like that. So he went to MIT, and he was there working on his doctorate. And one of his advisors or members of his committee left to work for a company in Allentown called Air Products. And this, he looked, and now Siggy's a smart guy. He saw the handwriting on the wall long before anybody else. Remember that the Soweto riots weren't until 1976 over the imposition of Afrikaans as the medium of instruction in South Africa. Remember that? Okay, so in 1973, he already saw that there's no future here. There's going to be a problem in South Africa, not too hip with what's going on. So he decided to start looking for work. And his former advisor from his doctoral committee, I guess if I got the story correct, said, hey, listen, I'm in Allentown at Air Products. We're looking for talented people like you. Why don't you come here? So he moved there in 1973 after finishing his doctorate and stayed in the United States. He's been in the United States ever since. I didn't really ask if they went back on vacation, but he's been living here. He's an American. He and his wife are Americans, and he's almost 90 now, 86. And his wife, again, I didn't ask how old she is. So they had a son, at least, and I believe he was born in America, would be my guess. And then he lives in Florida, and he's the founder of the Marble Life Company. And his cousin, all right, which is Siggy's sister's kid. Siggy's sister stayed in South Africa. She's a couple years younger than him. She's still going, so I'm guessing she's around 83, and she lives in South Africa. She had a kid, and that kid is married to Nicole. course, he's not a kid anymore. He's not quite in his 60s, in his 50s still. But so Ziggy is his uncle, and so his cousin lives in Florida, and they're all around them now. Anyway, fascinating story, really fascinating. You thought your autobiography would be good. What are you talking about, Sean? I will forget 99% of the story. It's a fascinating story. And there's a cute story he told me about Loftus. we talked a lot. But they actually wanted to know a lot about me and what my interest in South Africa was. So it took a little while to explain it because, of course, they haven't watched my channel. And Nicole, I think, hasn't been watching it for years. So I had to relate some of those stories. So I talked a lot in the beginning. I had to stop myself. Okay. I was telling hubby about the comic. I'm trying to understand. Okay. A bit late, his battery was dead. Sorry to hear that. Massive bound editions of British newspaper. Wow, that's pretty cool. Hey, Peter Talliard, what's going on? Hey, Colonel, hope you're doing great. Sparks Electrical, I'm doing fine. I checked out Marble Life. I'm in San Diego. It doesn't seem like there are positions at the San Diego branch. Nicole, are you still here? If you're still here, Nicole, I don't know if you went to bed. She was here when we started. Do you have anything potentially out in San Diego? You can send them an email, and the one I posted, I think it was still a valid email. If not, you just go look for that video, Marble Life, on YouTube. Marble Life Chris Wyatt, and you'll find it. It should have the email. I think something that people copied the email and they got it wrong, but that's the correct email if I'm not mistaken, because I copied directly from them. Yeah, and just say, hey, you're a South African refugee. And you don't have to stay in San Diego, man. You can go somewhere else, okay? Saving Private Ryan, you never know, okay? Finally got our approval since applying in May of last year. Have faith for those waiting. Sometimes feels like it will never come, but when the wheel does turn. Hey, Sparks. Mad Max, so we were employed and have to drive with hazardous materials, and the job requires is they didn't know we can't get CDL. So we'll hear tomorrow what will happen to us now. Okay, why can't you get a CDL? You have to wait a year? You have to have a green card? Is that the deal? It's crazy. I don't understand the CDL. I thought that was just California that couldn't get them because of what they're doing. So these Sikhs, these Indians illegally here have screwed everyone over, it sounds like. How wonderful. All united, the best country the world has ever known. Yep. Sean says the old man had an interesting life first man. Okay, that's what you're talking about, your autobiography. Okay, now let me tell you the story he told me about Loftus, because he asked me about rugby. He also told me some soccer stories. I mean, I don't like soccer, but he had some fascinating stories anyway. No. A CDL should be issued by the state, commercial driver's license. It's not a federal thing, is it? Commercial driver's license. Let's look and see. I'm not an expert on it. Okay, it's a commercial driver's license required to operate large, heavy, or hazardous material vehicles, requiring applicants to be at least 18, 21 for interstate driving, pass knowledge tests, and hold a commercial learner's permit. Obtaining one involves mandatory training, medical exam, and it says you have to be a state resident. It doesn't say anything about being a refugee. Okay, so let me see. Are refugees pro... As of March 16th, a federal rule. Okay. Wow. Okay, so March 16th. If you'd got it in January, you would have been good. Wow. Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration rule blocks those EAD cards, such as refugees, from receiving new or renewed CDLs. Virginia previously allowed them to get it. Advocacy organizations have filed lawsuit challenging this policy, and early temporary stay was granted in late 2025. Yeah, that's just wrong. See, they did that because illegal aliens were driving vehicles. That's just messed up. Okay, that's messed up. Well, okay, thank you. I didn't know the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration rule blocks those. Yeah, that's insane. So they're setting people up for failure here. Unbelievable. That is harsh. But remember, it was these Sikhs, these Indians, not just Sikhs, but Indians who were driving illegally, who were here illegally, who were killing people. California's handing out license. So the federal government put a ban on it. That's just messed up. That's messed up. Yeah, well, it's because of California. They screwed everybody. So they may have cost Mad Max a job. That's messed up. Nicole's here. I'll check. If you email me, please send your address so I can locate the nearest office. Your info will remain confidential. Only submit to relevant office permission. Okay, did you see that? That's Nicole from Marble Life. All right, who was it that was from California, San Diego? There's your answer right there, okay? I wanted to ask some advice. I have all the documents I need for our refugee agency, okay? Will I need anything else from our agency when applying for permanent residency? Raging Giant, are you one of the 59? That reminds me, I have to make a 59 video tonight. 59er video. Also need to make a video about Ohio and Columbus. Columbus and Cleveland. Okay. All right. You can get the license here in Utah, but it costs $3,500. Yeah, but this says it banned refugees from getting it, so I don't know how Utah can issue that, Jules. I'm not even going to ask. Illegals cause many deaths. Yeah, it was headlines everywhere a few months ago. Yes, I know, Broken Arrow. Okay, Raging Giant, I don't. Are you one of the 59ers? Why would you even be asking? Permanent residency is not in the cards for anybody except the 59ers. Only a handful of people came between then and September. So, okay, you don't need to be in California now, Raging Giant. You can leave at any time. You don't need permanent residency to move. You can leave right now if you have the means to do it. I'm not encouraging you to do it. You want to move to Ohio? You want to move to Indiana? You want to move to South Carolina? Pennsylvania? But not Wyoming. And if you want to move, you can leave right now. It's up to you. I'm not encouraging you, but you don't need permanent residency to move. Did someone tell you you had to have permanent residency to move? No. No. You don't need permanent residency. You can leave right now. Okay, Nicole, Utopi just submitted his resume in the Sacramento area. But aren't you in San Diego? See, the old guy is ready to move. So, Raging Giant, you don't need permanent residency to move. You have authority to reside anywhere in the United States. If you have the resource and money, you want to move to Hawaii, move to Hawaii. If you have the resource and money, you want to move to Alaska, move to Alaska, if you don't mind mosquitoes. You don't need permanent residence. You don't need a green card to move. You do, however, ladies and gentlemen, if you're a refugee and you relocate, you have 10 days to inform USCIS. If you don't inform USCIS, you could jeopardize your refugee status, okay? Make sure you understand that, because a lot of refugees have been relocating. You better damn well have been telling USCIS. If you haven't done it, you better tell them now. You better not get yourself in trouble, okay? In Texas, if you're on matching grant, you cannot move for 6 months out of state. Well, I don't know anything about that. If you took money from the state of Texas, how are they going to keep you from moving out of state? They're going to come arrest you? Or they probably demand the money back, which is not unreasonable. Caseworker said we could apply for a PR in 6 months. I don't have enough money to move yet unless job overs. Well, first off, Raging Giant, your caseworker is telling fairy tales, okay? You can't apply for permanent residency until, and this is the law, and I'm not going to get in a fight and argue with people because I'm just going to tell you how the law is, and people don't want to believe me. And when other people want to go and content creators and attack me, that's on them. The law says you must be 12 months contiguous residency in the United States to apply for a green card, and a refugee must apply for a green card at the 12-month point. Okay, I got you, Broken Arrow. It's a requirement. But my question is, how are they going to police that? Are they going to chase you to Oklahoma? Hunt you down and drag you back to Texas and make you clean grills and floors? I'm not telling you to abscond on any obligations you have. I'm just asking the question. Yeah, Biden and illegals mess things up for everybody, man, Max. Exactly right. Exactly right. So, Raging Giant, I don't know what your case officer told you, but you cannot get permanent residency here. Let's just look it up. Maybe that changed too. 26 March, I had no idea, or 16 March, a month ago, I didn't even know. 3 weeks ago, the law changed. I didn't, because of court, the temporary stay was removed. Okay, hang on a second. Hang on. Got to work on my typing. Refugees are required by law to apply for permanent residency after being physically present in the United States for 1 year. While they must wait 1 year after admission to apply, they should submit their application promptly to meet legal requirements. There it is, right there. There it is. Okay? There it is. People can say what they want. Refugees are required by law to apply for lawful permanent residency, a green card, after being physically present in the United States for 1 year. While they must wait 1 year after admission to apply, they should make their application promptly to meet legal requirements. There you go. So I don't know what your case officer is telling you or where he's getting. Now, I had somebody come in here and say they got permanent residency after 3 months. And I said, that's not possible. And they said, well, we have it. I said, well, you best just keep that to yourself because something fishy has been done there. I've also had people tell me that they've gone in and Social Security Administration says you're a permanent resident, but they're refugees. And I'm like, okay, someone made a mistake in the system. Yeah, but you can't really start the process at 6 months. After 9 months you can. But nobody, not a single South African refugee is eligible for permanent residency yet. However, 1 month from today, 59 people will be eligible, and they better file their cases. I'm going to make a video about that. That's where I need the green card. Okay, 59ers green card. By the way, I noticed that in that video about Marble Life, I was wearing this polo because that was during the Olympics or after the Olympics. This is a Cortina, Milan Cortina polo that I bought. So happened to notice that. That's funny. Ironic, I'm wearing it again tonight. Okay, my handwriting's terrible. Okay, so that's 2 videos. Okay, after the 1 year you apply for green card, you wait another 12, 14 months for approval. So if you came February 2026, you only see green card 20. Potentially, Mad Max. There's no guarantee you wait 12, 14 months. It could happen sooner. Okay? Yep, USCIS says 12 months from mission date. That's right, Broken Arrow. I mean, once again, but other people make videos, call me a liar, say I'm misleading people. No, I look up the law. It's not hard. Talking about motorcycles now. Early, PR, or winning the lotto. I'm keeping quiet. Exactly. Hubby is an immigrant, so he can apply. He says the law that refugees can't apply. That's what the law changed on March 16th of 2026. Yep. U.S. immigration law requires refugees to apply for lawful permanent residence status after being physically present in the United States for 1 year. U.S. government green cards for refugees. You don't have to believe me. Here's the link to it. Here's the link to it. Give you the receipts. That's the thing that's so funny when people lie about me and say that I'm lying to people and I have some sort of objective and I'm trying to take money from people. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? I give you the receipts. I don't just make stuff up. In our cultural orientation, they told us to start the process. Yeah, well, that's fine. That's fine. Start the process 9 months. Start getting your documents in order. Start getting your paperwork in order. Absolutely. Delays can happen to leave you without an EAD. Well, if you don't have an EAD in 9 months, that has nothing to do with your permanent residency. See, let me just clarify something there, Rudolph Skeppers. A green card is the same as an EAD for employment. The difference is a refugee is allowed to work immediately, but everyone else has to have a green card to be able to work legally in America, except for asylum seekers, and they have to apply for it. But anyway, yeah, so that's what an EAD is for, so that you don't have to have a green card. Otherwise, you'd have to wait a year before you could even work, and then wait to be here 2 years before you can work. That's why you are authorized to work immediately. But the green card allows people to work in this country, allows them to reside here and work here. But you don't have to worry about that. Your EAD, you're legally allowed to work the moment you get here, okay? $28,000. Yeah, well, motorcycles aren't cheap in America. Raging Giant, we had could have an interesting conversation about this. Our agency is obligated to help us with the application, or will we need to sort this out for ourselves? Well, let me explain what I've said. Okay, so on Shelley Hepburn's video earlier today, or a couple days ago, whenever she did it, she mentioned something about refugees are being told that there's no money because of Trump's. I might have misunderstood, but this is what I understood to say. Refugees are being told by some agencies that there's no money to help them with their green cards. There's no lawyers for it, and therefore they have to pay for it themselves. And I say, poppycock, poppycock. I was just in Las Vegas where I spoke to Milan Devatak, the director of the African Cultural Center, which is helping the refugees that are in Las Vegas. And he clearly, you can go watch the video. This is the director of a refugee agency. He clearly stated 2 weeks ago to me at the end of March, told me clearly that they help with the green card. They help people prepare for and apply for the green card. And the green card is free. You don't need attorneys for it. I don't know where that's coming from. I don't know where it's coming from. You are entitled to a green card. And I looked that up earlier. So let me just look up again. Refugees do not pay to file for a green card. You do pay for your medical exam. When filing the Form I-485 application to register permanent residence or to adjust status, refugees are exempt from both the filing fee and the biometric. That's the fingerprinting. However, they must be in the U.S. for 1 year to qualify. You do not pay. Who needs a freaking lawyer for a green card? You don't need a lawyer. Who is telling this? Who is telling the refugees they're talking to Shelley Hepburn? It's not attacking Shelley Hepburn. Listen to the words I'm saying, because some people will lie. I'm not attacking her. I'm not even questioning what she said. I want to know who these people are at agencies telling refugees that they need attorneys for a green card. You don't need one. You don't need one. You file the form. Free of charge for filing the I-485 form. Why would you need an attorney? Why would you need an attorney? Nicole, you had to rush for what? Here's the I-485 form. I show you the receipts all the time. Right there, USCIS, application to register permanent residence or adjust status. There's the form edition date. Where to file? Where to file? When you file pension eligibility, go to our direct filing addresses to see where you should file your application. Okay, when to file. In general, you may not file your form until an immigrant visa is immediately available. However, there are exceptions for refugees, of course. Here's a little chart, tells you what to do. Okay, filing fee. Okay, there's a filing fee schedule, but you don't pay for it if you're a refugee. Let's see what the schedule says. Okay, fee schedule. Okay, it's taking a moment to load. While we wait for that to load, we'll come back here. Checklist of initial evidence. Okay, all right, and that's it. Now let's go to the form. Okay, here's the form. Okay, you leave the top blank. That's for USCIS. Okay, there is an attorney or accredited representative. Accredited representatives are refugee agencies. Okay, they handle that. They handle that. So you don't have to go get an attorney. Information about you. Okay, this is handled by your refugee agency. All right, and that's all they do. They fill in this information here. 4 blocks, 5 blocks. That's it. Then you fill this in. Information about you. Okay. All right. And this is why you need to start a few months before the deadline. Okay. All right. There you go. Have you been issued a Social Security card? Yes. If so, what's your Social Security number? Do you want them to issue a Social Security card? No, you already have one. Okay. And then application here, while you're applying, what's your family-based status? Okay. All right. Spouse, U.S. citizen, widow, spouse, relative, unmarried, brother, spouse, lawful permanent resident. I'm looking for refugee on here. I don't see that. Anyway, it's on there somewhere anyway. So all these are questions. Special immigrant. Okay, here we go. Juvenile, Afghan, lawful permanent resident, other religious worker, asylum. Here you go. Refugee status right there. There you go. That's where you click. Asylee or refugee. Click here. Okay. Date of initial admission as refugee. Month, day, and year. Okay. Your human traffic. You don't fill all these out. They don't apply. So you're going to come down to 34 or 3D, and you're going to click on refugee status, and you're going to fill in the date you came in here. Okay. That's how that works. Okay. Options. Okay. I'm requesting yada, yada. That's it. So that's a long form. That's why you start well in advance. All right. But the refugee agent helps you. Fee schedule. Okay. All right. General filing, $1,440. If under 14 years of age, $950. Okay. If you're honorably serving active duty armed forces, $0. If you are a refugee or you were paroled as a refugee, your cost is $0. $0. $0. Did you hear me? $0 frickin' dollars. No attorney fee there. Your agency handles that. They take the form to an attorney or a special, what they call that? That's, and it might even be them. That is called, hang on a second. Let me go back to the top here. That is called attorney or accredited representative, if any. So an accredited representative doesn't have to be an attorney, according to this, okay? All right. I received an email for a final review. I was off sick, and by the time I saw the email, it expired. Not really much you can do, Donnie. I'm sorry to hear that. You can't be off sick. I'm sorry. You got to pay attention. That's a shame. Your channel are full of them. I love bike. Oh, okay. Raging Giant, thank you so much, Colonel Chris. You are a godsend. We are definitely not planning on staying in California for too long. The rent here is insane. It's not just the rent that's insane, Raging. It's the politicians. They want to put a wealth tax on you. And it's insane. These idiots like in New York want to put it on a percentage of the value. So I just looked at my retirement account. Now, they can't touch this because it's federal law, but they want to try and touch it. My retirement account, if I had to pay 1%, which is what they would target me with, I would have to give almost my entire retirement this year to pay in taxes. I would starve to death. I would have no income because I can't touch this. It's a retirement account. I can't draw from it, but they can tax it based on the value of it. The value of it doesn't mean anything. I will never be able to see all this value. I'll die before I draw this out. I'll be able to get part of it. But they want to take money from me based on the value of it. They will tax me based on the value of my house, saying it's 1%. That alone I couldn't afford. Between this and my house and the value of my car, my property, they would bankrupt me. But they'll say, oh, we're going to exempt people over a certain level. Bull crap. California is sick and twisted. It's broken. You're welcome, Rudolph Skeppers. If you apply to the program, your phone should be tied to your hand. You check exactly. You should. I'm sorry, I don't mean to chill anybody out, but you should absolutely never have your phone anywhere outside your reach. Church World says the Trump administration is slow in releasing funds to them. They're lying. Church World Service is a disreputable organization based on their conduct and their continual effort to undermine the Trump administration. They're pissed off that their $189 million has dropped to probably about $5 million this year. That's what it is. They're pissed off that they don't have a gravy train anymore and they had to fire people because they're not a faith-based organization. They are a money machine, taking in $200+ million per year and paying their chief executive $300,000 a year plus. Yeah, that's what they're upset about. Screw them. They need scrutiny. Is your agency obligated to help us? Yes, they are. They are obligated. So I know the directors of 2 refugee agencies, one in Nevada, one in Pennsylvania. I can talk to both of them at any time. Well, I won't call them at 11 o'clock at night on a Sunday, but I can talk to them anytime, and they can confirm. They can confirm what I've said. Yep. And I'll double check with one here. I've met some of the most incredible people who help refugees in America, and they get paid to do it, but they do it as it's a passion, not simply a job. And I've also met tone-deaf, uninterested people from national organizations that are refugee agencies, like Church World Service and others. At the same time, I've met people local level for some of those organizations, which were fantastic. The lady in Modesto, California, who works for the International Refugee Committee, IRC, or International Rescue Committee, she responded immediately to the situation with the colored family out there and got on the case and then called me on a Monday, called me on a Tuesday, called me on a Wednesday to tell me what was going on. And I truly appreciate that. That was brilliant. What a lovely lady, and their case was resolved. And the same thing, they didn't get back to me personally, but they dealt with the issue in Austin, Texas. So yeah, look, these people are pulling the wool over your eyes. Don't let them blame Trump. Tell them they don't know what they're talking about. SNAP went away, and the CDL has nothing to do with the big, beautiful bill. That has to do with California giving license to people who failed an English test and killing people. That's why. So, but yeah, this nonsense, if in doubt, the colonel always has the facts spot on every time. That's right, Mad Max. Yep. Doesn't mean I don't misspeak from time to time, but I correct it as we're going. What do you mean you're going to have to redo your EAD? I don't understand that. Green card application is free for refugees. Correct. Yeah, it's correct. Says it right there on the USCIS website. Says it right there. And your case officer is telling you that you have to, or their case officer is telling you have to pay thousands of dollars. That's nonsense. That's nonsense. You need to check and always check junk mail because we've heard from Colonel they do very short notices. Yep. Oh, Saving Private Ryan, are you also Raging Giant? They should be taxing you on interest, not lump sum. Yes, Charles, I agree. What I'm saying is these states, there's a dozen or 18 states that are trying to tax assets. So Florida already has an intangibles tax unless they got rid of it. But so the reason I never became a Florida resident, first of all, I don't like Florida, but they have no income tax. But the problem is they had an intangibles tax. So if you have a portfolio, I don't have one, but let's say you have a portfolio worth $5 million and they have a 1% intangibles tax. That means every year you have to come up $50,000 to pay your tax for intangibles. Well, that's an entire income many people get. You're not realizing any money off your portfolio. You're saving it for retirement. But you have to pay $50,000 just for having the money. But you don't have the money. And if the stock prices dive, You don't get the money back. It's ridiculous. 36% tax on that. That's crazy on your. Yeah. Yes, I'll be attending the 5th annual South African Braai and Potjie Fest, the 24th and 25th. King's Dominion. I keep saying Six Flags. It's King's Dominion. Thank you for correcting that. I need all South African refugees and South Africans who are interested to get in touch with us. Mad Max is probably going to be leading the effort to organize this. I will be coming down probably Thursday night to Virginia. I'll come in the afternoon or I'll come in the evening so I avoid most of the traffic because the traffic is a nightmare. I'll come down there, stay overnight. Friday, I'll be there. I'll go to the fest, and then Saturday I'll be at the fest, and then Sunday in Richmond, and then depending what happens, probably come back Sunday or go to Charlottesville. But I need to hear from South African refugees. You need to write to me and let me know whether it's worth my time to come there or not. I know there's refugees in Richmond, and I think some in Charlottesville, so you need to let me know, okay? All right, so that's coming up. So that's that. Now, I also need to hear from people in Columbus, Ohio, all right, and Cleveland, Ohio. I need to know. I'm going there, and I know there's refugees in Columbus, but I haven't heard from them. They've gone tone quiet, deathly quiet. So I need to hear from them. I know there's guys in Erie. I need somebody to take the lead for organizing something for me in Erie. I don't know if that's Jason Stevens Photography or who that's going to be, but we need to organize something for Erie as well on the Monday. Okay? All right. You forgot you had separate accounts. Okay, I didn't know. Hey, Carlos, what's going on, man? Yes, a lot of refugees will be attending. There was a 40 free ticket sponsored and handout to refugees. But is that ticket for Friday and Saturday or just for Saturday? It'd be important for me to know because I plan on going both days. Okay. I probably don't need to stay both days, so we'll see. If you apply the program, yeah, okay, got that, okay. Who needs a notary? Anyway, so there you go, folks. That is the bottom line. That's the bottom line. I download. Someone put that here. Okay, that's the I-485, and there's the information on it. So, yep. So, save that page. Okay. Do refugees pay? They do not. So I don't know who are telling people this stuff. I don't know who's telling people. Someone's telling this to Shelley Hepburn, and they're full of crap. Not the people telling them. The people that told them are full of crap. They're agencies. It's utter nonsense. So, yeah. But the CDL, that's interesting. I thought it was just in California. Apparently, it's nationwide. Whatever happened in Rochester, New York? People are doing better. I had a family that went up there that got much better care after I narked on Church World Service. They wanted to stay out of trouble, so they went out of their way. And they made a big impact, and that family's doing much better. The original refugees, I don't know the status of what's going on there. So, yeah. Possible accommodation. Yeah, Alex, I know, but I'm not looking for accommodation. I appreciate that. We'll look into that. You mean of all the hotel locations? Yeah. So I ran into a buzzsaw for the Western Pennsylvania thing. By the way, Kim, if you're watching this from Western Pennsylvania, now that your parents are here, I wouldn't mind seeing you guys. Okay. You didn't miss anything, Sparks. I haven't talked about Rochester in a while. I did tell you that Chris Shawan got a fantastic job, and he's doing quite well up in Rochester. Yeah. Broken Arrow says USCIS website is all the info on their website. Don't know why people get confused. Because here's why. Because people talk out their ass, Broken Arrow, and then they accuse me of talking out my ass. I don't talk out my ass. I mean, unless it's an immediate response to somewhere somebody's being foolish, I research what I'm talking about, and I look it up, and I find the facts. That's why, from February 7th last year, thank you, Pete Swaggart, from February 7th last year, when I did the live stream, 2 hours after Trump announced the refugee program, I was live for 3 hours and 38 minutes, and everything I said in that program, that the email or that live stream is pretty much accurate. That's great news. People should be so greedy to you. Huh? What do you mean people should be so greedy to me? What do you mean, Sparks? You're a national treasure, sir. Thank you. Question: what kind of shampoo and conditioner are you using? Tresemme. No, what kind do I use? I don't remember. Is it Tresemme? I don't know. It's one of those. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, so I got my taxes filed today. Due on the 15th. I got it on the 12th. So 13, 14, 3 days early. I'm getting a return. Not a big one, but a return from federal government and one from the state. Yep. And I overpaid both, thankfully. But before I put in my business expenses, by the way, so the money I made off of YouTube, 40% of it was expenses. and then of that, almost half of that was taxes. So 40, at least 60%, so 30%. So 70% of the money I made off of YouTube last year went to taxes and the cost of doing the business. So that meant I made 30 cents on the dollar. But I did make 30 cents on the dollar because remember, YouTube took 30% before I ever started. Or 45% if it was ad revenue. I don't mind though. I mean, that's fine. I made something. It's the first time. It's the first time in my business that it's been profitable. I've been subsidizing my consulting and my broadcast. I've really been subsidizing broadcasting with my consulting money and with my retirement income. I've been paying for this, and over the past several years, I've spent tens of thousands of dollars doing it. This is the first year that I actually have positive return after taxes. So not a lot though. Okay. Left all the groups, cannot handle negativity and ungratefulness people. Yeah, well, Sparks, what have I recommended? Leave the groups. I said the groups are toxic. I've said it all along. All the refugees are stone cold dead. Everyone keeps themselves. And if they're socializing with each other, they don't know about it. Okay, Alan. All right. Interesting. These useless Facebook groups cause nothing but issues. Exactly. And then people go there and they come here and they're adamant. They're indignant. You're wrong. You're wrong. I heard from, Mimi Fundamava in a Facebook group that okay. All right. Thanks. All right. Fine. You wanna listen to Mimi Fundamava, who doesn't know jack squat, and what is her source? Well, she said so. Broken Arrow, $50 for next year's filing. Wow. Where'd that come from? That's the first super chat of the night. I wasn't even looking for a super chat tonight. Thank you so much for that, Broken Arrow. You sure you can manage that? I don't want to have to come rescue you down in Plano, man. Wow. Anyway, thank you so much for the $50. Wow. Was not expecting that. So that's the only super chat of the night so far. That's a very nice one. Thank you. Similar issue. There's a concerted effort to get rid of whites in quasi-government institutions. Yeah, I know that's what happened to Charles. Yep. I know you give great intel. That's why I would rather ask you for advice of our caseworker. Well, you're welcome, Saving Private Ryan. Again, don't be confrontational with him, but you just tell him that's not what the U.S. government says. That's not what the U.S. government says. The U.S. government website clearly says from USCIS, and that's the authority. Okay. But you're right, Sparks Electrical. Just stay away from those groups. Oh, grateful. Oh, okay. Gotcha. People should be so grateful to you. Thank you. You're greedy to me. I don't like that because I mean, so grateful. Thank you for that, Sparks. Yep. Well, and to my mods do fantastic work. Charles is doing a good job. Hendo does a fantastic job. Arctic does a fantastic job. Erica, when she was here, does a great job. Sally is doing a good job now for me. Now I've got Mad Max doing a great job for me. I'm going to miss some of my mods, and I'm not doing it intentionally. They all give it a great effort here, and they do behind-the-scenes work voluntarily, so thank you for that. Yeah, my personal rate of return this year is minus 2.26% through March 31st, as opposed to being up 30% last year. The vagaries of stocks. That's just my retirement account. Yeah, my mods are pretty super. Yep. Worked in large corporate, also towing BE laws. Yep. CBB, welcome to you. Yeah, Chris Wyatt, sorry. See, I knew I missed somebody there. I knew I was going to miss somebody. I have to meet and greet Richmond for Sunday accommodation, if you can confirm. Okay. All right. Your cousin's taking strain, same situation. Yeah, no, Lon, it's terrible. I had a long conversation tonight with Nicole and her in-laws about what's happening in South Africa. Okay. What's he hiding in Madeira? Carlos, I don't think you sent me anything in a while, have you? There it is. Celebrate his birthday. Thank you for that, Carlos. I haven't got that far. Well, I can't say when I'm leaving on Sunday because I don't know whether there's going to be Charlottesville one. If there's going to be a Charlottesville one, I need leave so I can do Charlottesville in the afternoon. As far as staying, I have to figure out what I'm going to do Saturday night. All right, so let me I got to look at the schedule, what's on at the fest. You know, I mean, if I leave at 4 o'clock and all the action starts at 8, then well, I made a mistake there. So I got to figure it out. But my priority right now is because I've got my last week of consulting at the War College, so got to get this done this week. But my priority is to get that done, and I've got to work on my trip to Pittsburgh, Columbus, Cleveland, and Erie. So who's playing? Oh, well, Zoom is playing. Okay. All right, Max, I'll get back to you, but it's not going to be probably till Tuesday or Wednesday. It's not, it's next weekend, so we got time. Okay, thank you. I appreciate it, Max. All right. I'm looking forward to the Virginia one. Not looking forward to the drive. I'll be honest with you. If I come back up the Shenandoah Valley, I'm kind of looking forward to that. I haven't driven the spine of Virginia, Western Virginia, in years. It's been a long time. Yep. So, Henry Swanepoel, what's going on, man? How you doing? What's going on? All right. So, okay. All right. What else we got here? So, busy day as usual. Let's see. 2 prepared videos. No shorts. Yeah, no shorts. And 1, 2, 3, 4 lives today. Man, 4 lives. You just woke up. Well, it must be early morning there. Hope other refugees come over, don't forget you. They all promise they will not. Well, look, people get lives. They got stuff to do. I get it. But I would appreciate if people do stick with my program and watch it, especially here in the U.S. I get more money from your ads. Tom Selleck and Magnum PI. I think Tom Selleck is a stud, man. He really is. I took it for granted for a long time. I mean, it's like Journey, Don't stop believing. Hold on to that love and feeling. Street lights, people, it goes on. I really took Journey for granted when I was in high school, and I regret it. They're amazing. I also took the Bee Gees for granted. What an incredible group. I hated the Bee Gees when I was younger. I don't know why. Maybe because people turned me off of disco. I don't know why, because disco was cool. But Tom Selleck was great. His Quigley Down Under, fantastic movie. An absolutely incredible movie. I could watch it a dozen times. That was, but Tom Selleck, I didn't care for Magnum PI. And so I kind of missed out on the Tom Selleck era. But when he was in Friends, when he played Rachel's boyfriend, I developed a new appreciation for him. And then his Jesse Stone movies. Oh, Jesse Stone movies. In fact, I might put one in tonight when I go to bed. Jesse Stone, he was incredible. I didn't watch his, what's the blue, whatever it is, blue badge or whatever it is, his blue shield. I don't know, his 12-year-long show, 13-year-long show on where he played the commissioner. Yeah, Monica. Did I say Rachel? He's Monica's boyfriend. Thank you, Cecilia. Yeah, he was Monica's boyfriend. All the Friends fans are letting themselves out. Yeah, the Jesse Stone movie is incredible. He apparently is going to... I didn't really watch Shogun. That was Richard Chamberlain, yeah. Blue Bloods. Thank you, Charles. Yeah, I never watched that show, Blue Bloods. But he's an incredible actor with incredible acting. He is in the process of making the final Jesse Stone movie right now. I can't wait. He's 80. He doesn't even look 80. The guy's amazing. He's a stud. He just has a great delivery, and he has a great presence. He's tall. He's a hell of a guy. So I really... he's amazing. So, yeah, but the Jesse Stone movies are a great legacy for him. Unfortunately, they quit funding them, and it's a shame. The author died, but they still could have made more. There's still more books, if I'm not mistaken. How do you get time to do everything? Holy crap, you're a busy travel man. Sparks, well, look at my day. It's Sunday, the day of rest. Not for me. And Saturday was the closest thing I had to a day of rest, and it didn't turn out to be that way because I had the Veterans 79th anniversary of the organization. The VFW Post was 79 years old. So we had a birthday party for the Post last night. I went in, I sold tickets. I sold 50-50. I helped count the tickets. I did announcements. I asked people for donations. We're trying to buy a new air conditioning unit, which costs $20,000. We have 5 air conditioning heating units on the roof. I don't know who designed that idea, but they've not been well maintained. They're 20 years old and they're falling apart. One of them is beyond repair, and with summer's coming up, we're going to need aircon. So we're trying to raise $20,000 from donors for that aircon. So we're working on that. Yeah, the Bee Gees are great, man. They were incredible. Yeah, Monica's boyfriend. Yep. He was their dentist, right? Richard. Oh, yeah, Sam Elliott. I was not a huge Sam Elliott fan when I'm younger, but I am a massive Sam Elliott fan now. What an incredible actor. What a great voice, I love The Ranch. I mean, that's another thing. I never liked Ashton Kutcher. I never watched that 70s show. I thought it was so retarded when I saw it on television. But years later, I watched it in reruns. I bought all the discs and I watched it. And I love the show, the 70s show. And Ashton Kutcher, who I dismiss as a bubble-headed idiot because of, you got punked or whatever it was. He's an incredibly talented actor. And in The Ranch, he just shows some range. Really, really. I watched The Butterfly Effect. That was one thing that he was good in, but not a big fan. But yeah, so now I have an appreciation for Ashton Kutcher I never had, an appreciation for Tom Selleck, for the Bee Gees, and for Journey. Oh, well, look, I had Big Bang on. I stuck the DVD, the Blu-rays in, but one of my Blu-rays is defective. I don't know what the hell happened. I have to unplug my damn DVD or Blu-ray player because it just jams up. It doesn't load, and I've never scratched it, so I don't know what the problem is. But I watched the second half of season 10. Yeah, Big Bang Theory is the best show ever. I got a couple discs missing. They're somewhere stuck in the wrong. It's like, Back to the Future 2 was the Back to the Future 3 case. Did you do that, Leonard? Sheldon, I can't hear you. What was that noise? It sounded like a kraken. Yeah, no, I never liked him either, Charles. But then I watched The Ranch, and I was like, wow, he's pretty good. Sam Elliott, The Ranch, and The Big Bang Theory. Yeah, no, we're tracking the same. We Were Soldiers. Sam Elliott was in We Were Soldiers? What role did he play? The Sergeant Major? That was Mel Gibson. After everything's paid $1,400 salary and I didn't take any money for stuff from my agents, I don't want to do that. Well, Broken Arrow, that's impressive, man. You got $1,400 left of your salary. A lot of people would beg to have much money left after a month. Okay? Yeah. Yeah, We Were Soldiers once. Yep. I actually was in contact with the journalist. What's his name? Hang on a second. He just died recently. I contacted him and spoke to him on LinkedIn. It was before I started doing interviews. We were soldiers once. Yep. Joe Galloway. Yep. Book by Hal Moore. Yep. Joe Galloway was the journalist. Yep. Yep. Joe Galloway. Yep. He died in 2021, age 79. I actually was in contact with him. Had a very professional chats with him on LinkedIn. Joe Galloway. Born 1941, died 2021 at the age of 79. Yep. Yep. Along with Lieutenant General Harold Moore, Galloway co-wrote and detailed account of those experiences, best-selling 1992 book, We Were Soldiers Once and Young. Yep. He started his career, let's see, he served overseas in Tokyo, Vietnam, Jakarta, New Delhi, Singapore, Moscow, and Los Angeles. Worked as a reporter for UPI during the early part of the Vietnam War in 1965. 3 years later, he was decorated with a Bronze Star for helping rescue a badly wounded soldier while under enemy fire on November 15, 1965, during the Battle of E Drang Valley at Landing Zone X-Ray in Vietnam. Yeah. Yeah. Joe Galloway. 2025, Biden named a recipient of the Presidential Citizens Medal. What's that? Is that a different one? That's... I don't know that one. You got the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Yep. Okay, I've never seen that before. Citizens Medal. Roberto Clemente got a Hank Aaron, Muhammad Ali. Mad Max, Truth Social. Well, what do you do now? Is this for the... Is Trump attacking or shutting down the ports? Oh, my goodness. What the hell is that? Okay, that's weird. I don't know what that's supposed to be. Did you... somebody says you kill people, false God. Wow. Lana, did your comment show? I don't know. I see that comment. Supernatural. I tried to get into Supernatural. I have all the seasons on DVD, and I started watching the first season. I kind of lost it. It's like Haven. I tried to get into that a couple times, and I just kind of lost it, lost interest in it. Another one is, what is the one with Ichabod Crane? What was that one called? Oh, geez. what was that TV show called? Shoot. Come on. Sleepy Hollow. I think it was called Sleepy Hollow. Sleepy Hollow TV show. That's the one. That was really, and I couldn't stick with it. Yeah, Tom Meeson played Ichabod Crane. Nicole Bahari, she was pretty good in that too. Yeah, that was a great show. Orlando Jones, yeah, he was in that too. Yeah, Katya Winter. Yeah. Nicole Bahari. She's 41 now. Went to Juilliard. I didn't know that. Huh. Katya Winter is 42. Okay. She's from Sweden. Yeah, no, that was that's some great stuff there. Sleepy Hollow's a good one, but I couldn't really get into Haven. I tried. Sisu. Oh yeah, Sisu. I saw that. Yeah, that's great, Sparks. That's about Finland, where the guy, the Germans try to take him out. That's a great movie. That's a great movie. Yeah, We Were Soldiers Once is one of the best Vietnam movies. Yeah, much better than Hacksaw Ridge or the other ones. Yeah, the Finnish dude in Sisu. That's something else. I saw that movie. That's addictive. It's like there's no way he's going to survive this. He does. He takes out all the Germans. Oh my goodness. I've never watched Peaky Blinders. No, never watched that. We're looking forward to seeing a roadmap all your refugee trips. Yeah, I'm going to have to start making a map and show you that. Yep. Yeah, Supernatural lost it a few seasons. That was the problem I had. Okay. Cecile likes it. Okay. Well, Sigi, I was into Supernatural, but then I kind of lost interest in it a couple times. Yeah. 12 Monkeys, the series. I haven't seen the series. The movie was brilliant. Okay, Twin Peaks. Well, Twin Peaks is a long time ago. It was a creepy series. David Lynch died recently, a couple of years ago. Yep. Yeah, that guy's gone. It's crazy. Okay. Anyway, guys, I got to hit the rack. It's 11:15. We got a small audience tonight. I see that. Wow, usually on Sunday night I have a bigger audience than this, so I guess people aren't here. All right, time to hit the rack. So thank you all for being here. Be sure to hit the like button. I'll be broadcasting tomorrow, but it'll be episodic. I mean, it'll probably around lunchtime. Thanks to stand by for a broadcast without an announcement, okay? Because I'm on the road to War College, okay? The other ones this week are going to be kind of spotty because I have exercises, okay? And we'll probably have Varoshka, maybe Tuesday or probably Wednesday. U.S. to blockade ships entering and exiting Iranian ports. Yep, no, I know about that, but I didn't see CENTCOM announce that. Thank you for the $5, Matt. Your wife's going to get mad. U.S. Central Command forces will begin implementing a blockade of all maritime traffic and exiting Iranian ports at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. So we're talking about 11 hours from now, according to the President's proclamation. Blockade will be enforced impartially against vessels of all nations, including Iranian ports, the Arabian Gulf, and the Gulf of Oman. They will not impede freedom of navigation of vessels transiting the Strait of Hormuz to and from non-Iranian ports. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, what's this say? Dear Iran, I'm not Obama. I'm not Obama. That's good. Okay. What's the problem? What is this? I don't know what her problem is. Well, first off, Scott Spicer. He was not a was he? Okay. Oh, that he's the pilot that disappeared. Yep. So what's the problem? Wow, she's pretty, and they're gonna kill her. All right. So yeah, the blockade, by the way, is an act of war. Okay. An embargo is one thing, but a blockade is an act of war. So yeah. Yeah, Yellowstone went wonky on me too. I gave up on that. That is a great meme. Thanks for that. Thanks for the $5 super chat. So there we go. All right, cool. All right, guys, that's going to do it. Hey, Frederick Mostart. Yeah, I saw Elon's post on that. I'm going to talk about that, but I haven't got around to it. So many stories pass by when I'm busy with the War College, and emails pass by. I've got to catch up on email. A lot of people want to contact Ann Fillon, so I've got to get on that probably tomorrow night. All right, guys. So people probably like, well, we haven't heard from you. Well, I'm kind of busy. Okay. Hey, Nicole. Thank you very much. Ooh, was that a bronze star? Thank you for that. Never got one of those. All right, you guys, take care. All right. And that's it. Cheers. And by the way, Nicole, greetings to you and your in-laws. It was a pleasure meeting them and seeing you in person. Thank you very much. I hope that people contact you looking for employment that are worthy of working for your fine company, Marble Life. Cheers. See you guys tomorrow.